I am Noriko Bullford, and this is Uncut News. This afternoon, Chief Justice Roxanne George Wiltshire delivered a ruling in the case of Masinga Jones versus GCOM et al. As of news time, the ruling was still being delivered. In many respects, the Chief Justice has ruled against Jones, but seeing as I have a nightly deadline and if I miss it, Mud will tell me to rake my MS if I'm late, you all will just have to tune in tomorrow for an update on this matter. In what was probably the smartest move since the whole debacle we call an election started, the government denied a request from the US to relay Voice of America radio broadcast into Venezuela. For those of you who don't know, Voice of America is basically like DPI or GINA if they actually did their job well. In a letter dated for April 1st of this year, the Trumpistani government requested the use of a medium-wave broadcast frequency to broadcast their messages of freedom, democracy, and whatever lies Trump is pushing today. The request was turned down over concerns that such a move could further destabilize relations between Guyana and Venezuela. But knowing America, don't be surprised if they just end up opening shop in Trinidad instead. The families of the late Ron Somerset, Shemroy Bouye, and Alan Lewis, better known as the Linden Martyrs, have received a settlement from the state in the amount of $77 million. Under the settlement, the estate of Ron Somerset will receive $27 million, while the estate of the other two men will receive $25 million each. The three were fatally shot on the 18th of July 2012 at the Wisma Mackenzie Bridge by police officers during a protest over a proposed increase in electricity costs, while the commission found that the Guyana police force was responsible for the deaths. No member of the force was ever charged. You there! Did you get your GPS tracker from Triple B's yet? Well, what are you waiting for? You know what they say about hard ears picnic. Don't wait until you lose your property to bond it before thinking of installing a tracker. Contact Triple B's Enterprise on telephone number 682-8326. Don't hesitate, call them now. Yesterday, 18-year-old Shadrach Martin of Aishalton Village, South Rupununi, was stabbed to death during an argument with another man over a young woman at a Marudi mountain mining area. Reports indicate that the suspect is a 16-year-old Venezuelan national. He is currently in police custody. The JPF will soon be locking away sickos and child abusers with the help of skilled artists. UG will be providing forensic artists to the police force through a recent partnership with UNICEF and the local NGO Blossom Inc. Forensic art, an artistic technique used by law enforcement for identification, apprehension, or conviction purposes, is a key component of the response to violence against children in the nation. The collaboration will focus on ensuring that there is a consistent set of skilled artists to engage with the GPF and other agencies that work on the front lines of child protection cases. Now here's a story that should have probably been our weird one of the day. A 47-year-old Guyanese mechanic was arrested in Brazil this weekend for smuggling. Smuggling what, you may ask? Well, 100 bags of garlic, each weighing 10 kilos. According to police in Brazil, the man was caught in the city of Boa Vista. He attempted to escape capture, but seeing as he was literally carrying a metric ton of garlic, his car just looked like a moving felony violation. He even abandoned the car at one point, fleeing police on foot. He was not successful. Well, obviously. He then confessed to police that he smuggled the garlic from Guyana, which was to be delivered to a man known only as Garlic Joe. But it turns out he is actually a repeat offender. Now, before you start to laugh the man too hard, remember, some of you all's mommies and daddies made their living smuggling food into the country back in Burnham days. Cellular Plus is Guyana's #1 cellular superstore. Check out their brand new location at the Massey Megastore in the Movietown complex. While there, you can sign up to be a Digicel top-up agent and earn some extra cash. Call them on telephone number 685-3109 for more info. A vaccine for the Rona has been developed by the University of Oxford, and it appears to be safe and as well as triggers an immune response. Test trials showed the injection lead to the subject making antibodies and T cells that can fight the virus. According to the BBC, the findings are very promising, but it is still too soon to know if this is enough to offer protection, and larger trials are underway. Nevertheless, the United Kingdom has already ordered 100 million doses of the vaccine. Now for regional news. A Jamaican-born woman residing in Philadelphia, USA, has sued the Trump administration to become an American citizen and gain the right to vote in the November presidential elections. The woman, Maria Campbell Davis, along with Syrian national Abdel Wahab Alos, have both approached the courts to order the government to quickly administer the oath to everyone in their position while there is still time to register to vote in this year's US elections. She was set to take the naturalization oath in March 19th, but because of the Rona, it was cancelled with no new date set. Both the Jamaican and Syrian are lawful permanent residents in the US. The two must be registered before October 19th in order to vote in the November presidential elections. Hey, you remember those massive wildfires we had last year? You know, the ones that ripped through the Amazon faster than a minibus driver on crack? Well, it turns out they were purposefully set. In fact, a new report from the BBC says close to 20% of Brazil's soya exports to the European Union were as a result of this illegal deforestation. Researchers used freely available maps and data to identify the specific farms and ranches clearing forests to produce soya and beef destined for Europe. They found 2% of the properties were responsible for 62% of illegal deforestation. Feast your eyes on this beauty! One of these can be got at BM Soat for just $3.4 million. Visit the showroom at Lot 9 Crow Street, Georgetown. And while there, tell them Noriko sent you to find out about their in-house financing option. Or call them on telephone number 231-8451. BM Soat Auto Sales. It's your turn to drive. And now for our weird news story of the day. Like a scene out of a Bible story, people in the UK have been hit with a plague of flying insects. In fact, the 50-mile-wide swarm was so large it was actually visible from space. The enormous cloud of insects was picked up by the Met Office's weather radio over Kent and Sussex. The Weather Service said smaller swarms could be seen over London. A video was released by the Met Office alongside a tweet saying, quote, "It's not raining in London, Kent or Sussex, but our radar says otherwise," end quote. The radar is actually picking up a swarm of flying ants across the southeast. The crazy thing about it is that apparently this is actually a common occurrence in England during summer months. The Royal Society of Biology points out that such a swarm can be spotted on as many as 96% of the days between June and September. It's now time for our Uncut News Viewers Poll question of the day. Every day we pose a question about current events in Guyana, the diaspora, and how you feel it relates to us. So you give your responses in the comments and we'll read the best ones in the following episode. Friday's question was to name some Guyanese heroes who deserve recognition. Junior Ali said Dave Martin, of course. Wayne Jacobs said Norman Beaton, Habby Khan, CCH Pounder, and Eddie Grant. But coming in for the win is Gloria Swanson, who dropped a literal book of Guyanese heroes on us in the comments. She named several persons, including Sir Edward Victor Luku, Lionel Alfred Luku, as well as Sridat Sundat Ramphal, and many many others. But basically, to see the rest of the person she named, just go and search in the comments. Great job, folks! Isn't it nice to learn facts from a YouTube comment? If only all comments were this great. I want to give you all another question to make you think. Like the Jamaican lady in the aforementioned story, many West Indians leave our beautiful countries to pursue lives abroad, to become citizens of those countries. But many still wish to exercise their rights in their country of birth. Guyana is no exception. With a global diaspora that is larger than the nation's population, Guyanese are truly a global people. With that being said, our question for today is, should Guyana amend their voting laws when it comes to overseas voting? As in, should there be a requirement to maintain some sort of physical or commercial connection to the country, or just leave the laws as is? Think about that question and let us know in the comments below. If your response is good, we'll feature it in Tuesday's episode. Anyway, that's all the time we have for tonight. Check us out tomorrow for another episode. Until then, I am Noriko Bullford saying good night, folks. Hey, Uncut News viewers, thanks for watching. You can subscribe by clicking on this button over here, or click over there for more news. You can also drop a comment to let me know if you've made it to the end of the video. Goodbye for now.